Hi guys, we're here for the first ever Click Live Expo.
Let's go and check everything out.
Okay, let's do it.
Right, and so, I mean, we've been in that show now for a couple of hours, haven't we? I think it's been lovely, and actually thank you for the organisers for letting us use this wonderful set that we've got here.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
The executive set, yeah, it's pretty cool. And this is just one of the examples, isn't it, of the sort of booths that they have around for that immersive feel to the show. But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's obviously its first year, and I think actually it's off to a good start. I mean, it's very important to have these new shows, isn't it?
Oh, without a doubt, because you know, where do you get the opportunity to come along and take pictures in a little set like this, use lights like this? What comes across, it's an educational show, rather than just being a trade show. Is that a good way to put it?
I agree. There's a lot more sort of immersive experience, sort of feel interactive. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah,
more interactive. And I think that and all of those learning opportunities are right in front of you as well, aren't they? They're not sort of hidden in places or something. You can see everything, which is really good. I mean, there are some of the exhibitors are selling today as well. You can buy, but not all of them.
But not all of them, which I thought was a shame in some aspects, because I mean, we'll get onto this in a bit, because we spoke to the newer guys, didn't we, and quite liked some of their microphones and things.
But the shows like this are invaluable as a learning curve, because to be able to speak to people face to face, to meet people, to speak to experts face to face, and get them to show you the kit and to give you tips, advice, network with other people. You know, whenever these shows are on, I think it's important for photographers to attend. It's very easy to say, well, we went last year, I don't need to go again this year. No, because there's always something new to learn. If you walk away from a show having learned one new thing and put that into practice.
Absolutely, but also with shows like this that are talking about that kind of immersive experience, that sort of hands-on feel to be able to photograph things like this. I mean, other shows used to do that quite a lot, and that kind of has almost been sort of taken out for the traders, hasn't it? And for a show like this to have these, I mean, there's loads of them, absolutely loads of these. It's not just one or two. I think it's about 15 or something, isn't it, around here? Which actually makes it worthwhile going back to that show, because next time there'll be something different, and you can get something else. And especially if you're an enthusiast, member general public, pros maybe, because they're more interested in the equipment and stuff. But it's very much about that immersive experience, which we were lucky enough, weren't we, when we first got here, we managed to speak to Charlie Kaufman, who was the guy who basically, he's the brains behind all of this, isn't he? We managed to get a quick interview with him, so here's the interview with Charlie.
Right guys, we are talking here with Charlie, and now this is Charlie's project. Click Live is Charlie's project, so we're really excited that having to chat to you, Charlie. Tell us what can people expect today?
Well, Click Live is the photographer's show, so it's a photographic exhibition put on by photographers for photographers. Okay, we're not a big corporate, we're a group of photographers that travel all over the world, go to the most incredible expos in the US. We've been literally 15 countries I've exhibited at for Click backdrops, and I was envious at what some of the other countries offered photographers in the way of an immersive, interactive type of expo with the nightlife and the networking that we lack in the UK. So that's what Click Live is all about. 3 days of education, shopping, with evening events every single evening as well.
Yeah, it's a packed programme.
It's packed. It's literally 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. today, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. tomorrow, and 8 a.m. till midnight on the Tuesday. It's rammed.
And the classes that you've got going, the workshops that you've got going, they're sort of open for everyone, aren't they? For every level, it seems, from real beginners to
every level. And the educators, and this is again a big difference. There's two types of people you listen to at trade shows. You have speakers, which is 99% of every expo around the world call their photographers that teach speakers, and we have educators. And educators are the very best in their field and have the skill set to help people who are new into it up to already educators themselves. We've got some very established educators and award-winning photographers taking courses. So if you are a British photographer, even though we've got delegates for 9 countries, we've got quite a few come from the US and across Europe, but if you are a photographer, an award-winning photographer yourself, where do you then go to learn? So we've had to bring in the biggest of guns, people like Lindsay Adler, Chris Knight, Kelly Brown, people that are trendsetters and inventors of styles of photography. And we're honoured to have them headlining here. I mean, one of the most important things with Click Live as well is diversity and inclusion. So we've got models of all age groups, diversities. We've got, I think our audience of speakers is 60-40, female to male, which is really important. Our headliners are female as well. We've got 20 international exhibitors. A lot of them never even been to the UK to exhibit before. Wow. So another nice thing is people can come here and see something new, not what they saw 3 months ago somewhere else.
Exactly, and I think that's key. I want to go back to the educating bit for a moment, because I think a lot of people just think that the only option to learn is really online somewhere. So to actually come and actually speak and see somebody in person, I think that's hugely valuable. I think the learning online is absolutely great, but being actually in the presence of somebody with an educator, I think that's truly invaluable. And I think
100%. And I'll tell you what it is. You cannot feel emotion from a computer. Even if it's a live one-to-one, and there's loads of educators that teach one-to-one, you can't get the enthusiasm of a model and educator. There's always a barrier, right? I'm still the type of person, I don't believe in working remote. I like to see my team. We like to bounce off each other. And that's just me, I'm old school, right?
I do agree.
Now, Click Live is also the 30th anniversary of my company.
Right.
So this is our gift to the industry. Is it a huge money earner? Absolutely not.
Probably not.
I won't even tell you the money this is hemorrhaging. And I don't care. This is my gift to the industry. I get a bit emotional to thank people for having us for 30 years, because we do appreciate it. You know, the prop market for the newborn trade, there's no show in the UK.
That was something that stood out to me, actually, that newborn prop area.
There was another show, and unfortunately it's gone now. So we wanted to include the small traders that can't afford space with a shell scheme and everything. So they can come in for a nominal amount of money and offer things, and 6 of those traders are from Italy. You know, one from Germany, I believe, just offering something different to our community. And then, as you know, from our first conversation, you have the portfolio pods. 15 studios set up on the trade show floor, everything from ballerinas to Sherlock Holmes to still life to a bloody big Viking over there with a huge sword. You know, we've got still life, we've got everything. And our educators, like Frank Doorhoff, that's come from the Netherlands, has already said, if I'm not speaking, can I go and help people on the portfolio pods? Of course you can. And we've got 18 volunteers that are all
real community feel, I guess, and that's
exactly.
And that's what Click Live is about. Networking, education, socializing. We've got 10 live stage talks a day. So originally it was only 5 a day, and 3 months ago we brought a second live stage in, sponsored by FedWed and Graphy Studio. FedWed is a brand new association for wedding photographers and cinematographers. So we've teamed up with them thanks to Graphy Studio. They've got the largest stand in the expo, and they've got 5 wedding chats on a day, and we've got 5 on the main stage, all diverse. So you've got landscape, you've got wedding, you've got portraiture, you've got editing, you've got business, you've got it all on here. Even a celebrity rock star photographer as well coming on later. So it's got everything. It's just, hopefully the industry will appreciate it and support it. Hopefully we'll be able to put it on again. Hopefully I won't hemorrhage money next time, and we'll have thousands of people coming through the door. And the most important thing is people like you guys telling everybody about it, because even though we've been putting it everywhere, there's still ticket sales buzzing in my pocket continuously, because people just heard about it yesterday. And it's amazing, they must have lived under a rock to not have heard of Click Live by now.
That's right,
And what I would like to do publicly is thank our 18 volunteers, spearheaded by Yitka Wenham, who they've given up so much time to help put all this together. And also Gary Hill. You know, he's a fellow of almost every association. He's a multi-award winning, 3 times British Photographer of the Year. And Gary has curated all of the speakers. designed all of the portfolio pods, and he's even DJing in the reception tonight.
We saw him.
And if you come to the awards party on Tuesday evening, you might see him DJing there as well. So it's been a really incredible team effort. We do have a very small team, but my God, they know what they're doing. You know, they are A players.
Good stuff.
Excellent
Brilliant
stuff. Well, thank you very much, Charlie.
Charlie. Yeah, all the best with it. Yes.
All the best.
And we'll catch up with you. Cheers.
See you soon.
So, what did you think? I mean, he's got a lot on his plate, hasn't he?
You try imagine trying to organise something like this. He's taken a hell of a lot on, and taking on the big boys. Let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
Okay, let's be honest, right? You know, he's taken on the people that have been doing it for years. Have got the corporate, should we say, you know.
Well, the photo show's been going for a very long time. I mean, it used to be called, was it Focus?
Yeah, that's right.
I think it was a bit longer than that. It was Focus in something or whatever. So it's been going on for as long as I can remember. I remember when I used to work for Jessup's, you know, Jessup's had a presence there. And so we're talking late 90s, you know. So, you know, we're now what, 2024? And to start one up, and he has got this sort of 3-year plan, hasn't he, of what he wants to do with it.
We spoke to Charlie about this months ago, didn't we? Last year, actually.
Well, we had him on the show, didn't we, a few months ago? So,
and you know, he was saying to us what his vision is, and this is the beginning of it, and it's great. And you know, shows like Focus, you know, are great shows. You know, they have their thing, and Charlie's offering something a little bit different here. As we said, just very brave take on. And I think that's where the education comes in. I think it's an educator show more so than a trade show, because, you know, you've got like park cameras here, for example, but, you know, they're not selling loads of stuff. They're not got loads of stuff on display or anyone, but it's nice to be able to have that opportunity to have a look and to be able to actually find people here seem to have the time to talk to you here.
Absolutely.
And that's been really refreshing.
That has been. And also, I mean, again, just going on what Charlie was saying, he said he's actually brought stalls in that actually we wouldn't have seen at the photo show. And I think, again, we were talking about the importance of these trade shows, you know, for whether you're an enthusiast or a professional and all that kind of thing. You know, you can find new things for your business, which is just as important. I mean, we stumbled across. I'm going to go to my notes. Those the vintage pods. Now we've seen a few of these, haven't we? You know, when we're doing our weddings and things. So you know, we really liked it, and we had a quick chat with them, didn't we? So here it is.
Guys, we are talking to Carl from Vintage Pods. Thanks for talking to us, Carl. So tell us what you do, because this is really aimed at wedding photographers. For the wedding photographers out there, it's going to be interesting.
That's right, we bespokely build the vintage pods, and photographers usually purchase these to hire out in the evenings. Or they can put an iPad in there, or they can use it with a DSLR camera as well.
Oh, okay, so it's either or.
So they don't have to have it with the DSLR camera and the iPad. They can do one or the other, or both together. And generally they hire out for between £300 and £400 per event. And a lot of photographers are there during the day, and then after the first dance they then set up their pod, and then they hire it out for the evening.
Right, okay. And how much do these start at?
To purchase one, the iPad version is £999, and you just put your own iPad in there. And they're quite unique because they have an interchangeable front. So you can just add a different iPad in it. So if you've got a 10.2 or 11-inch, you can change your.
It's certainly a cool looking product, and we've seen them for years over weddings, haven't we, Mark, and other events that we're at, and they've got, so the style's got cooler to blend in that much more with, you know, the event, and so it just blends in.
A lot of venues like the rustic look. We do a range of colours. This is the light oak version. We have a white one, we have a black one, or you can have rosewood or dark oak, but by far the light oak is the most popular model that we do.
It's that additional sort of plus point, isn't it, of offering another service for photographers, which is not that time intensive, I guess, because I'm guessing the setup is quicker on a wedding day. You know, it probably takes a matter of minutes to actually set up.
The setup is literally 5 minutes. It really is that quick. A lot of photographers and DJs as well, what they're seeing is a huge increase in demand for this sort of hire item. There used to be the big photo booths and the magic mirrors, but a lot of the brides love the look of them, and photographers are sort of catching on to the ideas that they can literally set this up in the morning, do their photo shooting during the day, or have this running alongside it if they want, do a whole package. It's not just a photo booth; it's also a video booth as well.
Right.
So people are setting up video lounges. So that in the afternoon they're hiring that out as a separate thing. For I know one company they charge $350 for an afternoon's video pod, and then in the evening they charge another £300 for it to be a photo booth.
Yeah.
So they really are.
Pays for itself almost in one day there, doesn't it?
They're doing the photo shoot during the day for the wedding, so they're eliminating the need for photo booth companies to come in and just sort of cream off.
All in one package.
Yeah, so they're doing the whole package.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
it depends, obviously it's a long day. Depends how they want to market themselves.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Also, just to go on to the technical side of it a little bit. I mean, I've noticed here, obviously it's the individual's iPad, for example. So if I was to have this, it would be my iPad that I already have. I'm guessing the software comes with that. So
no, the software is we use Luma Booth.
Okay.
And it's an American software. It's $18.99 a month. That gives you 2 licenses, so you can use it on 2 different devices. It's very. I can give you a demonstration if you. Give you a demonstration of it. So just give you a demo of the software. So this is the back end of it. So you can fully personalise the screen. You can do different themes. So you can do for children's events. And as I say, you can just select your own backdrop. So I'll put that's one I did earlier. Just like that. And then I can go to different print layouts. So this is a single shot. If I add some preset layouts, you can choose the different designs, how you want it to look and feel. It's a photo booth. It does GIFs. It also does boomerang videos. And you can set your video time to up to 60 seconds as well. You can fully adjust how it operates. The length of time. You can put PNG files over the overlays over the videos as well, so you get your branding in there at all times. Background removal, so you don't have to have a physical background. You can do it has AI background removal. So as long as you're facing a plain wall, you can do you can add any image behind them.
Right. So you don't necessarily
you don't need a backdrop. You can do like a Christmas scene. You can do a white flower wall. Add different effects to it as well.
I think what I like about this is that it's not really going to go out of date, because you've got the app, and that's constantly updated with new ideas. You're not buying a product that's then going to sort of become out of date and stay static in a year, because trends move so quickly, don't they? But here, with the app, new things are going to be evolving all the time. So you've got a product really that's there for a long time. You bought the unit, you bought the iPad, and you've got that monthly subscription, but it's not static.
No. It literally, with the actual pods themselves, they're made from birch. So all you need to do is add a bit of beeswax on it, and then your product's like new again. So I'd like to say it's a living product. It is a product that actually evolves as well. And if the technology changes, you just simply change your iPad. So if I just take this off here like that. So this is set up for an 11-inch iPad. But if I want to just take this off, we can take the front out. Just take that front out. And then add a different front in there, so it goes up to a 13-inch iPad.
Right. Okay. So it's easily adaptable.
And printing-wise,
you can add a printer to it.
I'm guessing that's what this shelf is here.
We tend to use a printer that Photomark provide. It's a DMP QW410. And it comes with a dongle, and you can just literally. It connects via air. It creates its own Wi-Fi as well. So even in a venue with no Wi-Fi, and that will just print straight from the screen, straight away.
But let's say you've got a printer already. So I mean, for example, I got a Mitsubishi DW70, whatever that is.
You can connect to that via Selfie Wizard, or you can have an additional laptop, and then have an app called Luma Share, and so that then transfers to the laptop, and the laptop then transfers to the printer. So you can use a Fuji, Mitsubishi, DMP. What I do like about the DMP QW410s is that it's got its own Wi-Fi box. So you really, if you're in an event and you are concerned about the connectivity, you don't need to be. Or Canon do a Canon selfie that you can actually get from Argos, and I never ever thought I'd say it. The print is £138, and the print cost is quite high. It's 38p a print. However, the advantage of using the software is that most people will share via QR code, AirDrop, WhatsApp. So you'll print, and not everybody will print.
No, exactly. That's right.
Your cost. So you'll end up doing 20 or 30 prints, whereas on a traditional photo booth hire, you would do 180. It's because they utilise the AirDrop facility on it, straight to their phone.
And that's how things have changed with the photo booths as well. Before it was just about the prints, wasn't it? Was that's not so important now for, and the good thing there is there's less things for the photographer to think about and to take along and to set up and for things to go wrong as well. You don't have to offer the print service at all, do you?
I guess that's an additional option, isn't it? So you can
that's what we do. We've got a hire side. So for example, we did a wedding yesterday where we set a pod up in the morning. Took me 20 minutes to set up from arrival. It's before any of the wedding guests have got there, so there's no stress or pressure. Literally put it in the corner, red carpet, prop pack there. We charged them $325, and that was collected this morning.
So does Vintage Pod then hire out as well?
We did a hire side as well. So we did a dry hire as well, and we've sold over 200 units in the last year and a half. And so we have a support group as well. So anybody that purchases from us, they join that support group and they share bookings. So we've got clients from Cornwall to Edinburgh, all the way across in America. We've got a lot of clients in America, Europe. So we have a whole range of people on there. And so yesterday I bet there's 4 or 5 jobs where there's a last minute booking coming in, anyone in London can cover a job, would you like the booking? And they just pass the booking over to them. So we get so many last minute bookings, and it's trying to generate a whole network of people that we don't charge for that. That is all part, once you buy your pod, you're in that group.
That community,
as long as you don't upset people, then you're still in our community.
Again, it's like so many things, how it's really evolved, and the photo booth is evolving. Cole, thank you very much. All right, great.
So I mean, that was really interesting, I thought. I mean, we've seen a lot of these booths about, haven't we? But it was quite nice seeing the inner workings. They obviously seem to have a nice community based around their products as well, which I thought was quite nice.
That shows the power of networking with other photographers. And the company are doing that. They're building that network for other photographers to, get in touch with one another and pass work on, which I think, which is great.
But it works really well, doesn't it? And, it's great seeing these new kind of stalls like that. I mean, I've not seen that particular brand before. I'm sure they've been around, but I haven't seen them before. I think he was saying, was it 500 units something in a year, which, is a lot. But I think they're still quite a new sort of brand on the market. So it's nice to see those. But not to say that other people weren't here. I mean, Fujifilm are here. Sony are here. And
we spoke to them last time, didn't we? So we didn't speak to them this time round, but we.
It was nice. But we had a quick look, didn't we? And it was nice to see they were here supporting a new show like this. But there was another brand that we spoke to. Is it Newer?
I think it's Niwa. Niwa. N-E-E-A-R, something like that.
We should get our interns on that one, shouldn't we?
That was, first of all, that was the brightest stand.
I mean, I thought I was going to get a suntan, to be honest with you.
It was well lit, shall we say, right? And. But there was some stuff on there that was really good. I saw a tripod there that was quite interesting. And here's where they were really helpful, because I'm looking for a tripod that's got one of the pistol grips that you can't seem to get anymore. Okay, and so they said they're going to get in touch with me about it.
Okay, that's
and
cool.
So she said she took my details and said, look, I'm going to drop you a message I'm going to speak to tech guys, and I'll get in touch with you on Wednesday about it. But she goes, that looks really interesting, and it's an old product. So it's good to be able to have those conversations.
And it's absolutely, to have that face-to-face, as we were saying earlier. I mean, the other thing I don't know much about video, right? I mean, I'm very much a stills guy. I've dabbled a little bit here and there, but not really. But the rigs that you got there, I mean, those rigs, it was kind of like, you kind of build them. It was almost like Meccano or Lego, wasn't it? I mean, you can add this here and add that there. And
because on the mirrorless cameras, the videographers now, you can attach a mic to it, a little light to it, and all little bits, attachments and things. It was all modular, which is great. And I was looking at the teleprompter there as well. We've got we use a teleprompter for video, so if we're interviewing people or they're talking direct to camera, they can read to it. Yeah. And I really liked the little kit that they had with that. That was really cool. That seemed to work really well. Works with your own iPod. And then of course the little lapel mics as well.
Yes, we like the look of those, didn't we? I mean, we're using these, which are almost older than the pyramids, right? But I mean, these have always done a good job for us. But we're always looking for new ways of doing it, and they did look interesting, didn't they?
Yeah, they had versions that you could use that were compatible for use with a phone or with a camera.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are recording stuff on their phones these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
And phones are getting better and better, and the audio quality, they can now get really good audio quality.
Yeah.
With using those mics by pairing them up with their phones, which is really good. So
and again, going back to the rigs that they had, this modular sort of system, it's good because it's customizable. You don't necessarily you might not need that bit or that bit, which actually goes on to something else that we saw, which was the Spider camera holster.
Oh yes,
they were really cool.
Now we had to speak to them, didn't we?
We did have to speak.
That one was definitely worth a chat.
Yes, absolutely. So
why don't we head to that?
Yeah, well, we will. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so we are here with Spider camera holster, and as you can see, I've got one on, guys, and I do use a strap normally, and it's normally a double strap, and one of the things that actually worries me sometimes is when I'm kneeling down taking a shot, these do kind of swing and hit the floor sometimes, but this is quite a nice little holster. But we're here with Jared, and just tell us a bit about it. What's so cool about these?
Yeah, well, thank you for stopping by. So essentially what we're doing here at Spider Holsters, we're giving you a way to carry your camera in a more streamlined, fast, and secure way. So the camera, when we have it in the holster, I'm going to borrow this one if I may. Yeah. You're going with this pin into the holster like that, and you're letting that body of the camera ride against this pad, which is doing a couple things. You're taking that weight off of your neck and your shoulders. You're distributing it to your hip. Think of a baby on the hip, well, a woman carrying a baby on the hip. That's where the human body is meant to carry weight. So you're giving yourself relief, first of all. Second of all, you're getting speed. So you have the ability to pull your camera out fast, put it back fast, and then you can focus on adjusting your model, your subject, going to your other camera, which could be on this side. And then we have a very modular approach.
Just about to ask you about that, because we got all these sort of modular bits here. I mean, you mentioned Batman's utility belt. It's pretty much like that, right?
That's how I like to describe it, as Batman's utility belt.
So tell us a bit about that bit. So we got these bits on here, right?
Yeah. So how this works is our Spider monkey system here. You get a clip with two of these peel and stick tabs. You put the clip right here or anywhere on your belt, doesn't matter, and it just goes in just like that. Yeah. So you can separate your flash from your camera body and wear them separately.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And I use double because I have normally a telephoto lens on one and maybe the normal sort of 24-70 on the other. This is obviously one. Do you sell them double as well?
We do. So you could buy it as a double right out of the gate, or you could buy it as a single, and at any time down the road, just do a 1 or 2 upgrade.
Right. So again, it's going to that modular utility belt kind of feel, isn't it? And
I think that's what I've seen these before. Yeah. Okay, but the thing, I've never been tempted by them because I've always thought they're a bit cumbersome. This one isn't. This one is really good.
Yeah.
Okay, and one because yes, you can get the camera there. It is very easy. Because we've always had the straps, haven't we?
Yeah.
This is the first one I've seen that's best, but it's the modular thing that I think is really good. I mean, being able to put the flash on there is great. Yeah. But like the bag here, more often than not now, when I shoot, I just have one of these around me, which is great, okay? But having that there...
Batteries in there, you could put cards in there.
Just whether it's keys or something like that, it's just in there.
Even your hydration, water bottle.
Exactly. And I love the fact that that's, you get that, with, as part of the kit as well. So the Spider Monkey, I think it's a top product to this one.
Yeah, I really like it. Because I say, obviously one of the things you probably have to worry about is a little bit wider, especially if you've got doubles, you might have to kind of do that a few times.
Or what you could do, like our ambassadors do, they swing it around like that.
Yeah, but come on, man, what's that doing there?
There is something to be said about that look.
I actually brought mine round to here. I found it more comfortable there rather than to the side.
I do that as well, to be honest. I have it right about here, not exactly at the 9 o'clock, more of about the 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock position.
Can I grab the camera from there again? Okay. Because definitely when I have it
and that's great if you got one. But as you know, Cam, I tend to wear two. So, but yeah, no, it's good.
No, great product.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jared.
You're so welcome. Thank you for coming by and talking to me today.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was cool, wasn't it? Yeah.
Do you know what? Right, that was because we had already spoken about it, but I've got one of those. Are they called RS Sport straps? The shoulder harness, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Right, they're great. They work brilliantly. They took away some problems I was having with my shoulders a few years ago, and I have tried these holster type ones before. Never really got on with
Well, I remember we actually got to the table, and I'm sure it's fun because we have been won over, right? But you kind of said to me, well, I've got one, and no, they're not all that.
So I said, you can
but actually, when we tried them, because I use a double one, and my cameras tend to swing a little bit on the side, and if I'm kneeling down to take a shot, I think I said it in the interview, didn't I? When I'm kneeling down to take a shot, especially with the 70 to 200mm lens I've got on there, and then you've got the hood on top, so that's it's a pretty long lens, and it's always hitting the floor when I'm kneeling. But with that, I don't think, because it was sort of facing out, wasn't it? I don't think it'd have that issue. And I loved the sort of utility modular.
It's that word modular again, wasn't it? And that's what I really liked about it, because he was able to put the flash rather than leaving the flash on your camera all the time, and the flash, but also the little bag that you can throw your batteries in.
I mean, that's amazing. You can have cards in there, spare cards. You could have spare batteries for your flash gun if you needed it. You could put in, and it's all attached to that belt. I mean, that was I was really impressed. That was one of the favourite things I saw today. I mean, mainly because I'm not really looking for anything, but that one came across. I thought, oh yeah, I could see myself using that. Thinking about cool products though. We saw Hobo Light again, didn't we? And we do like the style of those. I mean,
so I'm going to put it out there. Hobo Light, they get my vote for the coolest looking product.
Yeah,
definitely. The coolest looking product is. I'm talking cameras, lights, tripods, everything out of whatever. Right, the coolest photography, because it's just got so much style to it. It's got that retro design. People love that retro design. I love the colour, that silver and that sort of tan, that sort of silvery grey and that tan. They've just got it right. Even the bags, everything about it.
This is amazing, because this is the sort of stuff I say about Apple, right? And you always sort of dig at me for going with Apple products because they are more expensive. Because those Hobo Lights, they ain't cheap, right? I mean, they are not cheap. So I think for like the biggest light they had there, now bear in mind it did come with the softbox, the stand, a bag, and all these other bits and pieces, but it was still 1,800 quid, right? Which is a lot more than. My Bowen's, not my Bowen, so my Elencron 500, BRX 500, it's a lot more than that. And you've always said to me, with Apple, it's overpriced, with an iMac and stuff. But you're down with these, so what's the difference?
I do love Apple products, right? Don't get me wrong, right? Apple products are great, but there's just something about them that you just want them. You just want to be using them. You want to get your hands on them because they are the coolest looking products.
So a Hobo Light's officially now the Apple Lights.
If not even better. I don't think Apple could come up with a better design than Hobo Light have come in.
Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one.
So if anyone is looking for lighting and they want to, get something that looks really, really cool. Get the Hobo Lights.
And again, speaking of something that was pretty cool, we did see Epson were here, and they were printing out free T-shirts for everyone. Unfortunately, they didn't do one in my size, but I did manage to get a tote bag, and it's kind of a design that looks a little bit like me. It's a cool version of me, I guess, which I thought was really nice. What did you think about the talks, though? Because we did go into a couple of talks.
I thought the talks were good. The one that I really enjoyed and I got a lot out of was Imogen. Imogen.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I thought that was a great talk, and we had a wander over to the stand as well. Found out a little bit more about it, about how it edits your own. Basically, if you have an editing style, if you upload, I think it's a minimum of 3,000 pictures. This software will then recognises your style. Okay. Yeah. And it can then implement that style into future shoots. Now, but it does it to such an extent that it just looks absolutely incredible. And they have this culling process. So let's say you go out and shoot a wedding and you've shot 3,000 pictures. It culls the pictures for you. So I wanted to know how it culls them, and it was saying it looks for images where people have got their eyes closed. If you've got something blurred, something's just not right, it will cull, or maybe duplicates and things like that. Now, when we do weddings, like we're doing groups, we do have duplicates when we shoot a group photo. We could end up taking 6-7 shots of that. We personally still always give the bride and groom 2. So we don't want the software to remove.
Well, there's different expressions and things like that. Exactly. It comes down to being subjective, doesn't it?
The fact is that imaging, it can then take all of your images, and from the ones that have been culled. So let's say you have 1,000 images, and it will auto-correct those for you in your style, like in a style that you've been doing. And it takes up to 30 seconds an image, but you can just leave it running, and it works in with Lightroom. So you're doing it in Lightroom. Works out to about 4p an image or something like that.
Yeah, so I think we worked it out, didn't we? If let's say you're giving 12, so the culling part was free. So if you were, let's say you got 3,000 images, you get it down to 1,200, that part is free. You're not being charged for that, which is nice. But then after that, yes, it was like 4p per picture that gets edited with this software, which I think worked out, was about 48 quid, something like that?
The thing is now we had this conversation, and you said to me that you'd have to perhaps maybe add that to your cost.
I think it would be inbuilt. I think you would have to, if you were making a price list now and you're using that sort of thing, because of course those prices, that £48, it might suddenly become 8p per picture. They might. I'm not saying they're going to do that, and I don't know. I don't know any inside information. But you do need to sort of allow for that. So
you do. That's right. Yeah.
You would have to incorporate that. I think. I think it'd be a godsend.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you just don't have to sit and edit all those pictures.
We were talking about cool products earlier. I think that's up there too, actually.
Yeah, it was. So that talk was really good.
Yeah, so it was Sarah Edmonds, by the way, who was giving that talk, and she actually put it across really well. Her husband was on the laptop, I think, wasn't he? And she put that across. And
then we spoke, and then we went over to the graphic studio stand, and they were talking. The guy there was talking about lighting and how to use lighting in your images.
Yes.
He was talking about flash, natural light, that type of thing. So that was pretty cool. I thought he was showing some really good stuff on there.
And it was saying it in quite a personable way as well. So I thought the delivery of that was really good.
Talks were really good. I thought they were quite well attended. It's the first day of the first show, and people are going to get to know about it that much more. So I think the attendance was pretty good actually for those. A lot of chairs were put out, and a fair few people were there. And on that note, can I just say something? I can say something. What I have noticed, and we've mentioned this before, was I've said in the last few years, quite a few years, is the rise in female photographers. Okay. Now, I would say that the vast majority of visitors here today have been females.
I'd say the majority. I wouldn't say the vast majority. I'm looking around now, and actually all I can see is fellas. But I know what you mean. There is a much bigger sort of female presence within the industry now, which
incredible. It's incredible the way the industry has changed, because it was a male. I'm not going to say male-dominated. It was almost like a male-only, industry.
But you have got a range more of a range of models now. So lots of different ethnic backgrounds, also male, female.
And you got the Viking that we saw. That was really pretty cool.
The
characters now. So I thought that was good.
Quite going on.
Yeah. And on that note, they are there for people to shoot, to bring cameras with them. So.
And going on with that, obviously, all these, as you can probably see with all these things here, all the lights are set up for people. I don't think you can move them really. I think they are there, and then the model will move for you. But there's a lot of things here with lighting options, isn't there? So we spoke about Hobo, but also Elencron was here, and we've not managed to have a chat with Elencron before, so it was nice to see them here as well. I don't think we haven't. I'm not too sure if we have.
Maybe we haven't.
But we managed to speak to them today, so here's the interview with them today.
Okay, right, so I've got Mark on this side and another Mark. This is Mark from Elencron. I think you're sales director.
Sales director of Elencron UK.
Yeah, so we're on the Elencron stand. And I just wanted to start off, first of all, just talking about the battery-powered lights. Because, Mark, you know that we're involved in a lot of graduation photography, and part of my role is having to organise it and then having to do risk assessments for everyone. And
most of that's about wires, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's crazy.
It's all to do with cables and whatever. And the way studio lights, in my opinion, are going, or they should be going, are battery packs. Okay, it's battery powered. Okay, and that's why I wanted to speak to Mark about these. So Mark, the Elinchrom range of battery powered studio lights, can you just give us a brief overview?
Yes, certainly. We've got 4 products in the range actually, starting with the Elinchrom 1, Elinchrom 3, which is the head we've got here, and the Elinchrom 5, which is just beautifully illuminating the back of your head there. We also have another unit called the ELB 500, which is a small pack unit, so battery pack, wire, very small head, so really great for using outside because you've not got the weight on top of a stand, that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
But this currently, the Elinchrom 3, is probably our most popular product, our newest product in the range, but actually it's just killing it at the moment.
So my question, I use the BRX 500s for my studio. Workhorse, absolutely love them.
Absolutely.
So power-wise and feature-wise comparison with this to the BRX 500, which I know a lot of people have, what are the differences? What's the similarity?
From a power point of view, technically it's I think 262 watt second head. In terms of light output, it exceeds that light output a little bit, generally down to the amazing reflector design and flash tube design that we've got in the Elinchrom heads. In terms of battery operation, this is a great head as well. I mean, full power flash guns, I think you've got about 525 roughly full power. Turn it down to minimum power, that goes up to like 11,000 full powered flashes. And actually, you know, a lot of time in photography now, it's not about how much power you can output. A lot of people want them to go down really low. So this will go down to 5 watt seconds. So if you're just using it as a bit of a fill light, newborn photographers love it, especially because there's no cable. The last thing you want with newborns and kids is cables.
I think this is it. I think this is the way that I think if anyone is out there is looking to buy studio lights now, my personal advice is just go for battery powered, because particularly if you're out at venues and whatever type of venue it is, you know, they're getting so hot and all that whole health and safety thing, public liability and everything. This just does away with all pat testing, right?
But also, you don't. If you're turning up at a venue, you don't know where your plug sockets are going to be. You know, you might get commissioned to do some corporate headshots. They want them in their office. Might not be a plug socket.
So you've got extension cables and you've got to tape that down or put rubber cabling on it.
And that takes good 20 minutes at least to set up, depending on what you're doing.
And how many people are now asking now for pat testing, right? So you don't need to have these on site as pat tested, do you?
No.
You know, other than obviously the charging thing, but you can do that yourself at your own studio.
It's also USB-C chargeless.
Oh, so, right. Okay. Wow, that's really good.
And it can active charge. So if you are in a situation you're using high power, high number of shots, you can active charge. Not only from the mains, you could actually buy a decent USB-C battery power pack. You could strap it to the stand, double or treble your light output just by having a USB cable plugged into it. So it makes it even more versatile.
Just incredible. And I also took it off, and the weight of this is just so it's light, but it's also got some weight to it as well. If that makes sense. In other words, it's substantial.
Definitely.
You know, it's not.
I'll be honest. I'd say that's maybe a little heavier than the BRX. I reckon. Because of the battery. I think. I mean, you're always going to have that. I guess. I mean,
we've also this on the head is our OCF adapter. So we use an OCF system for the Elinchrom 1 and the Elinchrom 3. This is a really nice OCF adapter as well. It's got a clamp system on it. The beauty of that means you can actually put any size modifier on that. No chance of that falling off. It's as solid as it can get. You can see we've got a gel dome on here as well. So this is another feature of the Elinchrom 1 and 3. We've got these easy to use domes that you can gel your softboxes, and it gels the whole light source as well.
I love the idea of these. Now I'm gonna. So I got my BRX 500s and I bought a pack of these thinking it would fit, and of course it doesn't. Are you going to ever produce something like these for the BRX 500s? Because I would love these in my studio.
But aren't they dated? Well, aren't they
Yes, they are. They are. But nevertheless, but nevertheless, they are. I mean, I have 4 of these BRXs. They're £500 a thing. So, and I have all the soft boxes that link to it and all that. It's a wonderful, wonderful system. Because I went from using Bowens, and their soft boxes were a pain in the bum to set up, whereas the ones I got, the Octagons, click, 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 and it's up. So I'm going to be using these lights for a very long time. I'm not about to give up on them. That's what they were bought for. But I hate the gels on the top of the thing. I would love one of these for my BRXs.
It's probably not as easy to do. It's because we use the OCF system that we can make these to clip on, and then you know, you can softbox that as well then. So you've got a gelled coloured softbox.
Which is why I want these.
Obviously with the full size mount, which you've got there on the Elinchron 5, which is our sort of top of the range, that's using the full size mount. You've still got to do it the old way. A little bit of gaff tape here and there.
But especially when you're putting soft boxes on, because the gels with soft boxes, I mean, it's quite in at the moment as well, hasn't it? So, and I love these. I really wanted to.
The design of these lights are very, very cool. They look, they just look cool, don't they?
They do.
You know, and I think that's important. You know, we, as photographers, we're in the image industry, aren't we? Okay.
Yeah,
it's nice to feel something that, and it's nice that it looks good as well. Price point from the 1 to the 3 to the 5. What's retail?
Yeah, you're looking at about $690 for the 1. I think it goes up to about $929 for the 3, and then up to about $14.99 for the 5. There or thereabouts. Obviously, pricing is up to our retailers, but that's now the beauty of these at the moment. All our battery ranges, we're giving away a free Pro trigger of your choice, worth £240.
That's good.
So if you're a Canon user, Nikon user, Fuji user,
is that one of these?
Sony user, that's not the Pro trigger, that's the standard one. But the Pro trigger is the one that allows you to use TTL, high-speed sync, all that sort of thing. The normal trigger is just a trigger. Look, most people use manual for flash. But high-speed sync is getting more and more popular, and you need the Pro trigger. So we're promoting that free of charge at the moment. So
that's really good. It's one of those would be really handy. Now these are lovely. I mean, the thing I'd always said about Elinchron is like I was saying earlier, the ergonomics of it all and the way it all fits together. When I went from Bowens to it was like, wow, it's so much easier to put together, and you can see that with this as well. Excellent.
Good stuff. Mark, thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
Really interesting that, and it was great to see them. I mean, we spoke to Mark, didn't we? But I know Brian, who's part of that, and I think he might come on the show. I think so. So do
And Sony as well are going to come on the show. Remember? So Sony are coming on the show as well soon, which will be really good.
I tell you what else I noticed. I mean, there's a lot of sort of studio help here. I mean, also we spoke about this background. So Charlie's company, Click. You know, this is his stuff here. But also we saw the labs, didn't we? I mean, we didn't really have a chat to the labs, but I think there was one you used, Sim.
Sim. Yeah, we're looking at their wedding products, their wedding albums. We spoke about that as well. You know, so if you're a wedding photographer or portrait photographer, it's definitely one of the companies to check out for. And of course, you use One Vision, don't you?
I do. I mean, so this is, we're in Stoneleigh Park. This is where it is, and actually One Vision is just down the road, which is one of the reasons why. I mean, obviously they've got quality products, but I've always found that having that lab locally, and they do give that personal service as well. When I've ever been in there, they've always helped me out if there's ever an issue, which is rare. You know, they would always be quick to sort it and all that kind of stuff. And of course, their products are really good as well. So it was nice to see them represented, because I know I'm speaking to them. They don't do that many trade shows because they do have a showroom in their premises, which is really good. So do check them out as well.
So, you know, on that note, Loxley Colour are here as well.
Yeah, and of course Graphic Studio.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I've got to say that you know, my experience of Loxley Colour and Sim and your experience of One Vision is, for all three, I would say customer service has always been fantastic. You know, they really do look after.
Well, we're quite lucky because we've got some decent labs in this country, and I was really lucky to have one sort of down the road as well, which I think was really cool. So yeah, and of course other things that we've noticed.
Well, actually no, before you go on to that, because it ties in, is we were looking at the Ilford stand as well, weren't we?
The Ilford stand, yes.
Paper. Right, that took me back to my days.
Absolutely.
Printing and we were looking at prints that they had on the range of their papers, from the gloss to the matte, the double matte, the pearl, all of those papers that they had, the canvas papers and everything. I mean, you know, I don't miss those times. I don't miss that, but you know, there was an art to it, wasn't there? More so than there is now.
You always get nostalgia for the old times, I guess. I mean, I was looking through those sort of print samples, and you know, when my Jessop's days, we'd have all those print samples next to all the paper in the photographic paper corner. So it was quite nice just going through them again. It just took me back 20 years. What can I say?
When you printed something and you took it out and you hung it up to dry, or you put it through the dryer, you took it out in daylight, looked at it, I really feel that has gone. That feeling has gone, because yes, you know, you might send your prints to a pro lab and they come back as amazing looking prints, okay, or you might print them out on your own, but the fact of coming out, say, of a darkroom or something and holding it, you really felt that, you know, you took the shot, you created that shot, you printed it, you went through the whole process of that printing and the paper and all that. I think that's been lost.
It has been, but I tell you what, I do not miss you going through all of that, you get the print out and there's a bit of dust right there. I don't miss that at all.
I don't miss my hands smelling of Fix.
Oh God, that stank, didn't it?
That's right, yeah. No matter how much you wash your hands, you still oh God, I could still smell.
It's like petrol, isn't it? It just doesn't come off your hands.
So Ilford is still doing it. It's still
they're still about. Absolutely, still as relevant as ever. So so that's really cool. And also there was other parts of the show that we really liked, wasn't there? So you got the baby props there. So for newborn photographers, you know, having those little props and aids to get babies into certain positions. That's all really interesting, and we got.
I mean, intentionally, we've not showed everything that's on offer because I think it's a show that's really worth.
We can't get through everything either, to be quite honest.
And I just want to touch on the backgrounds again because a lot of these, all the backgrounds they do come from Click, which is Charlie, the organiser. It's his background, and of course they've got the floors as well. You know, and so those of you that are thinking of putting a studio together and want to get backgrounds, your choice of backgrounds is just incredible, and you build these sets as well. And Charlie's built these incredible sets here for everyone to come and view and see, and I think a lot of people are going to walk away with totally inspired by the backgrounds. I mean, thinking I want to build a little set, or it shows you that you can create these sets. You can
it looks grander, but it's just all backdrop, which looks really, really cool. So
my favourite one was the one with the guitar and the amps, which would be your favourite as well. That's right,
absolutely.
Good stuff.
Cool. Well, I mean, I've enjoyed it. I mean, this is definitely year one of a 3-year plan. I think he's got a lot more in store for us, I think, in the following years.
I hope it retains, because I can only see it getting bigger, but I hope it retains this chilled out vibe.
I think so. I mean, there's a couple of things. I mean, with the stage, I think it would have been nice to have screens on both sides, and I think the audio was a bit.
There were two things we were talking about.
But nevertheless,
that's right. It doesn't take away from it.
It doesn't detract from what a great show.
Listen to the one on the main stage, and I was missing certain things just because of the sound. But that's things.
It's for year one, isn't it? This is the first day of year one. They might get that sorted tomorrow. So, I think it's great. You got two stages essentially, and it's a nice show. I think it's all very much for the enthusiasts, and that ethos of community, I think, is very much, because he said that, didn't he? It was his gift to the photography industry, and I think it shows. I think it's definitely sort of like a passion of, this is a project of passion as much as anything else, and it definitely shows. So I think that's probably it, but before we go, we do have to give a shout out. We normally do this over Zoom, don't we? But for all our patrons.
That's right,
so obviously we've got Amara Zainab, we've got Frank Case, we've got Carl Sherville, Rob Percy, and we've got a new guy, Craig Chuck. And we know Craig, he's commented quite a few times, hasn't he? And he's now a patron as well. So thank you very much, Craig. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I do hope, Craig, that Craig messaged me some time ago and sort of looking into the photography industry as a career move and some video stuff and everything. And so drop us a line, Craig, because let us know how you're getting on with that. That'd be really good to hear from you.
Awesome stuff. Well, I think that's it. From the Executive Pod Suite at Click Live, we'll say cheerio, and we'll see you on the next show.
Okay guys, we are here for day one of the Click Expo photography exhibition.
Let's go and check everything out.
Okay. Actually, can we do that again? Because I looked. Hi guys, we're at the first ever live Click Live Expo.
Click Live.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Fine, this is bloopers.
My flies.
Click Live Expo.
My flies are all right.
Okay, right. Okay, yeah. Good. Hi guys, we're here for the first ever live. Oh shit!
What the hell? Do you want me to do that bit?
No, I'm going to do it. Okay, right. Hi guys, we're here for the first ever Click Live Expo.
So let's go and check everything out.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. Oh no, that was awful. The year at the end. I'm going to do one more. Sorry. And I looked away as well from the camera.
Hi guys, we're here for the first ever live Click Expo. Okay, let's start again. Okay. Hi guys, we're here for the first ever Click Live Expo.
Let's go and check everything out.
Okay, let's do it.
Nice.
Okay, right, yeah. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I know.